All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 12 now, Better Angels. So this is going to be my preview to the episode. There are pretty much 3 sneak peeks of the episode out right now. You can find them all in the description. Basically, to sum them up, the first one is Rick basically is giving people directions on what to do. They're going to be moving into the house, it looks like, for protection, and they're going to be, sort of changing their system a little bit to better protect against zombies now that they've had another one come out to the farm and kill Dale, sort of as a shock, as a warning message. They're now going to move into the house, it looks like. The second one is tdog going to get Randall, and then Randall, of course, not being there and having got away. And the third one is Shane basically coming back and saying that he got someone cut him in the face, or probably Randall cut him in the face, it looks like. But it could be other characters, maybe characters from the comic book, possibly making an appearance. There are rumors that the character of Michonne may make an appearance in the series, either in the finale or maybe this episode. I guess we'll see how that goes. So I just kind of want to give my thoughts on these developments and what I expect or anticipate for the next episode. So based on these, of course, we know Randall's got away. He's gotten loose somehow. There are rumors that Carl apparently may have let him go. I don't know if that's true. I tend to think it's not. I hope they don't try to say that he's going to get out of his handcuffs, because you can see where in the preview, sort of, he's his hands are raw from trying to pull himself out of his handcuffs. And I mean, I hope they don't make him able to pull his hands out of the handcuffs, because I'm pretty sure that that's like impossible. I mean, I'm not a police officer, but somebody let me know, is that impossible? Because I'm pretty sure it is basically impossible, unless you like your hand, I don't know what you'd have to do, like break your hand or something to get them off. I don't know, but it just seems to me like it's basically impossible, and like your knuckles too. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see that as realistic. So obviously someone had to let him go. There are rumors that possibly it could have been Shane that let him go, this kind of stuff. Here's the big problem I have right now, is that the first preview, Rick basically saying, me and Daryl are gonna take him out, and we're gonna cut him loose. So that verbiage tells me, or that language tells me, they're going to let him go. Like, is that what Rick's saying? Is they're going to let him go? Because at this point in the show, they cannot let him go. I guess that they could kind of say that, oh, well, as a momentum from Dale, Dale's wishes, they would have wanted them to let this guy go, and in memory of Dale, they're not gonna kill Randall. But that would undermine everything about Rick's character and about the show and wanting to protect his family. If they let Randall go, it would be how can I say this? I want to make sure I choose my words carefully here. It would be the dumbest decision they could ever possibly make, and I would lose all respect for the writers of this show for allowing that to happen. Because as you could see in the bar, Rick knows what he has to do to keep his family safe. When those 2 guys at the bar were being a little shady, he's like, no, you guys are not coming back. This kind of stuff. You're not coming back to the farm with us. And then, of course, he ended up having to kill them by shooting them both down when they drew on him. But he was, he stood up and he basically said, no, you're not coming back no matter what. I don't care. You'll have to kill me because I'm not bringing you back to my family. For them to say that they're going to bring Randall out and cut him loose and let him go, I hope that's not what's going to happen. It looks like in the trailer, though. Go watch the trailer. It's the first one in my description. Come back and listen to it. It sounds like they've changed their mind. They're going to let him go. What's the direction these writers are going with the show? They're destroying The Walking Dead. They're absolutely destroying it. Maybe I should do a video just talking about that, about the direction, because the last episode, people were saying, is the worst episode so far in all of The Walking Dead. All of Season 1, Season 2, it's the worst. Because first off, it looks like most people didn't want Dale to die, especially like that. I mean, if they had to kill him, they could have done a lot better job, I think, of doing it overall. That's my opinion about that. And also, another thing it does is it makes Carl look like a retard. The amount of things he did last episode that were, ridiculous. I mean, there's a freaking list of it. There's a list of all the dumb things his character did last episode. So, it's really starting to feel contrived, and it's really starting to, like, characters are acting completely out of character. And it's not natural. The progression is not natural. Early on in the season, like when you see Rick, shoot the two guys in the bar in Nebraska, I think it's episode 8, pretty much dead already. Shane loses his mind, lets the zombies out of the bar, and then they kill Sophia. That's natural. But Rick and Shane have fought now. Okay, Rick and Shane have fought, and sometimes if you're living with a guy, that kind of stuff can happen. We see this a lot with brothers and stuff. They'll fight, and then afterwards, once there's a certain amount of respect after two guys fight. Usually, unless one of them's a complete dirtbag, usually they'll that's it. Whatever, the beef is done, the problems are done. If Rick lets Randall go at this point, after everything that's happened and all of this kind of stuff, the Walking Dead TV show to me is inferior to the comic book. It's absolutely, if he does that, the comic book is the real Walking Dead, because that would almost entirely destroy the show for me, personally. As a viewer, I would be outraged to see if Rick just let this guy go back to his group of 30 guys after, first of all, Daryl kicked his ass. Second of all, he heard Rick basically, about to execute him. He heard Carl say, "Do it, Dad." He's been shot at twice by Shane. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to go back to his group, and his group's going to want to annihilate these guys. You cannot let him go. If Rick lets him go, this show is dead. Okay, I'm sorry, but this show is. These last couple episodes are maybe the worst written episodes I've ever seen in the history of television, because they just took my favorite TV show and they just flipped it on its head. Is Rick an idiot? No, Rick is not an idiot. So he knows that he has to, they've got to put this guy down. They cannot allow him to leave. They cannot cut him loose. I don't care how far out they drive. At this point, with everything they've done to him, they have to put him down. They cannot let him go. Just because Dale died and it was what Dale wanted and his wishes or whatever, you're putting the entire group, in jeopardy. The entire group. So if Rick does that, that destroys the entire show for me as a viewer, because that tells me then that the writers, first of all, are not even trying. They're making stupid decisions that make the show look contrived, because that is not natural. Rick wants to protect his family, and now that all these things have happened, that would make Rick a dumbass if he let this kid go back to his group. That would make him look like the dumbest character in the show. Like seriously, like. I don't know, man. If that's the direction they go, then obviously I'm going to watch the show, but I got to say that the show is, basically the ending of this season is a disaster. If that's the direction they go, because that then means that Rick is an idiot, and Rick is not an idiot. Okay, he makes some small mistakes here and there, but he's not a complete retard. And if you're, the only way you're going to let the kid go and release him is if you're a complete full retard. Not even the full retard, okay? And never go full retard. You go full retard, you go home empty-handed. Just saying, okay? So that's the first one. I'm not going to drone on too much long about that. We'll see next episode whether or not the Walking Dead TV show is better than the comic book. It might just turn out next episode to not be true. And I would highly recommend everybody that if you have not read the graphic novel comic book, do yourself a favor. I don't care if you don't read comics. I don't care if you don't like to read. Go pick it up. It's an exception, or read it online or something, because you need to read it, man. It is absolutely fantastic. And it looks like, with the way this plot is developing right now, the comic book is a better telling of the story, is a better interpretation of the story or incarnation of the story than the TV show, if they're going to go down this route and, make it look like Rick's an idiot and he did something dumb, and then the group comes back at them and kills them all, or kills some of them. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not the way you develop the story. You don't develop, when it comes to survival horror, you don't develop a survival horror by the main leader character of the story being dumb. Okay? If you do that, you're undermining the entire show. You're going to destroy the entire show. And I think now that I analyze the direction that they went with Carl last episode and the way they killed Dale, the last episode might be the worst of the entire series. The one coming up, and after this, if they let Randall go, or even if Rick says he was going to bring him out and let him go, that for me just kills the series, kills it. I know I'm being negative here, guys, and I don't That's not my intention. But I gotta say, I'm all like, I analyze every episode. I review every episode. I care about the series. I don't want to see the television show get destroyed because the writers are too lazy and they can't think of any other way to put the characters into a survival horror situation other than making the main character be an idiot. Okay? That's all I have to say. And especially if the rumors are true and Shane gets killed because he disagrees with Rick about letting him go, the show dies with Shane. I'm sorry to say, but the show dies with Shane because, there is no way that Rick as a character should be that stupid to do that. Even if he's being emotional and he's not thinking logically, he has to want to protect his family. And, then, I don't know. So anyway, if that happens in the next few episodes, then the Walking Dead TV show, for me, dies with Shane, and that's basically it. I guess you can always go later on, okay, well, maybe it was written by this person, because they use different writers, and they use different directors for different episodes and this kind of stuff, so some of them are better than others. Obviously, the first episode of The Walking Dead, Days Gone By, directed by Frank Darabont, is the best directed of any of the series, probably. In my opinion, it is the best directed, and that's one thing about The Walking Dead that's strange, is that some episodes have such a different feel to others. There's no like as you go through the seasons in the series, they feel different in the way they're shot, in the scenes, and everything feels different all the time. It's always changing, So even though it's the same show, there is a different feel to it, quite a bit. So we'll see how that develops. I really hope it doesn't work out that way. Otherwise, I got to say that the comic book to me is like, now that they've killed Dale, I know it was caused by the actor wanting to leave, or at least that's what I think, wanting to leave the show after Frank Darabont got fired. But stuff like this is going to undermine and destroy the television show. The comic book is basically, in the way that it is, I was preferring the TV show, but if they make Rick an idiot and they let, and he even says, oh, we'll drive out and let Randall go, like it looks like he's going to next episode, oh man, then I have to say that I'm going to switch back from saying I think the television show is a better interpretation of story to the comic book is the one. Get the comic book, forget the television show, because it's nonsense, basically, because that's what it'll turn into if that happens. Then we see the next one where tdog goes to set Randall loose, and he does the, oh, hell no, because he's somehow gotten loose. How he got loose? There's only one way. Someone must have let him go. So who was it? Who let him go? Maybe it was Carl, like people have, some rumors have it. Maybe it was Shane. I really, really don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, but I don't know. I don't see why any of the characters would be letting him go. I just think that's stupid. Or maybe Andrea or something. I just don't know. That's really weird. So someone in the group that's still alive has let him go. I don't know. Maybe it could be like Carol or something. I really don't know. Maybe it's Shane. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Is it interesting? Does it develop things? Well, again, it just shows that Shane was right, even more so, and that Rick should have initially just let Shane take care of it. If he can't handle it, if he can't be the leader and do what he needs to do to keep the group alive, then he should step down and Shane should be the leader, and that's all there is to it. Because Shane's so far he's made all the right decisions. And then the last one is Shane says that he got cut in the face, or I think he says he cut me in the face. He leaped out at me and cut me in the face, or something like that, and you get to see some blood pouring down Shane's face. I don't know what to make of that too much, if it's him, or if it's Randall, or maybe another character, possibly one from the comic books. Maybe like, I don't know, like Michonne uses a sword, so I don't know if maybe she has a confrontation with Shane in some capacity. I don't know, but I definitely think that the writing for season 2 was really good up until actually after episode 9. Up to the end of episode 9 it was good, and then episode 10 was like terrible, like just the worst writing we've had so far. And then the next episode might be even worse, because like I said, if Rick says that they're going to let Randall go at this point, that destroys him as a character, because that makes him a total retard, because they can't do it. And it's not that, me personally, I disagree with him. Like people might say, oh, well, just because you disagree with him doesn't mean he's a retard. You know, and no, you're right. I agree. It doesn't. But there's no choice in this situation. Okay, look at the options. Like I said in my last video, you let him go and he goes back to his group of 30 people, tells them where you are, and wants to have them come kill you. So you can't do that. That's idiotic for you to do that, is it not? I mean, is there anybody out there who thinks that's a good idea? Let him go back to his group and of 30 men with assault rifles and automatics, and you know, tell them where we are so they can just come annihilate us, because that's probably what's going to happen. Um, you know, if you let him go, that's what he's going to do. You kill him or you keep him with the group. The worst decision is to let him go. So if that's the one Rick decides, man, whoever's writing these last couple episodes should have gotten fired instead of the initial writers of the show. So that's it for this video, guys. That's my preview for The Walking Dead episode 12. 2 more left to go. This one's called Better Angels. Excited to see it, though. Very exciting stuff. You know, always love The Walking Dead. I just hope they don't undermine and ruin the show. Later, guys. Peace.